Hi, this is Natalie with The Fifth Journey. I'm going to be doing a fun special order. This is going to be a kind of a pig in the mud look. So I made these little LCP, light cold process detergent free glycerin pig faces. And I'm using this for where I get the AWA free range leaf lard from. They're going to be doing some gift sets for the holidays. So I'm going to go ahead and use these as the little embeds in there. And I'm going to do kind of a swirl with, I've got activated charcoal and then I have cocoa in that one, and then we'll do a plain. This is a bigger batch than I normally do because they have a lot of gift sets they want to do. The fragrance oil, I used a lavender and a cedarwood combination. So it's, excuse me, essential oils. And I'm going to go ahead and I went ahead and put them in the oils already. So they're already in there because they don't accelerate. They don't cause any issues at all. So I'm just kind of skipping a step. The leaf lard does slow down trace. So once I pour everything, I may have to wait a little while before I can put the little pigs in there. And I have these molds, but the main ones I'm going to be using are these, and they already have the little lines so you can cut them out, but they're not going to be, these are full-size bars, but I'm going to cut them in half. So they're going to be little travel soaps, little gift set soaps. So I've got 3 of these, and then whatever is left over I'll put in there. I made 75 of the little pigs, so it's a bigger batch than what I normally do. I'm going to go ahead, fast forward through all of this, and then we'll come back. I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for a little bit to harden up, and then I'll go ahead and put the pigs in. And it's not quite as brown as I was wanting, but there is some brown in there. And I may not have said this, but I did put coffee grounds in there. So that's what all those specks were. I did do quite a bit, or what I thought was quite a bit, of the cocoa powder, but once you mixed in the other colors, it did lighten up. But there should be some layers in there. So I'm happy to see how this turns out. And like I said, I'll come back when it's set up a little bit more, and I'll go ahead and push those embeds in. But we'll have a fun texture on that with the activated charcoal and the swirls, so I think they're going to be fun overall. And we'll come back in a bit. It didn't take very long to set up, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in. All right, there we go. We have little pigs, and I'm going to go ahead, put them in the oven with the light on to come to gel phase, and then we'll come back when it's time to unmold them and cut them. It's a few days later, and I am cutting the little pig in the mud soaps, and I went ahead and did these ones first because I have quite a lot to cut, and I kind of wanted to see how it was going to work. So I went ahead, like I said, cut them up. I have these nice little travel soaps. They're a good thickness, a good size. And I'm kind of doing a little bit of experimentation with how I'm cutting them, because with this mold, it does have those lines in it, and obviously that won't show. It has those lines in it, so it makes it easier to cut. We've got those nice swirls on the bottom and the nice swirls on top. What I would like to eventually get, and I know I've said this in another video, is they have these cutters that you slide through. So instead of the ones where you push down if you're doing bars, they have ones that you can slide through. So you set the thickness. I guess think of it kind of like a table saw. So it has a piece of wire, and then you just slide it through, and you can do little tiny thin little bars. It's good for like shaving off if you have layers that you want to shave off. But I'd like to get one of those eventually. So how I cut this one is I ended up using this type of cutter, and I just went straight down. The problem with using a knife is you have to push it down, you have to drag it out. There's no way when you have something that thick that you can twist it off without getting some bad marks in it, which I did use the knife once I had the individual bars, but when I'm cutting the big ones, it doesn't really work. And I tried to hold it up like this and slide the knife down, but you cannot keep it straight at all. So using this worked pretty good. I have this cutter, and I'm honestly not quite sure what it's called. My dad, who was a potter for 40 years, he had these. This is what he used to cut the clay off when he had the wheel. He'd cut the pot off the wheel with that. So I actually have some of these, and I just cut that, and it worked really, really well. It went through like butter. And then kind of backtracking a little bit, the problem with this type of mold is that the top layer gets harder, and the inside and the bottom is still pretty soft. So when I was pushing down with this, let's see if I can find a bar real quick, I did end up losing, if you can see that, is, I don't know if you can see that in the picture or in the video, but it kind of pushed off some of the edges. Let's see if I can, if you can see that, there's some of the lines there were kind of like smushed the soap off, so it didn't really get a very clean cut, where that is a really nice cut. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead, fast forward through all this, and I won't come back because I'm doing a little bit backwards since these are already trimmed up, but we'll have these nice travel size soaps, and these are going to be in gift baskets. And then over here, because I'm going to make another soap, this is my leaf lard that I had rendered, and I go ahead and render it and I keep it in the fridge, and I'm getting that ready for another project, but it's a real pretty leaf lard. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these, and then we'll come back for a final look.